Hello and welcome to the FOSROC Super Series Sprint, which gets underway tonight in the wonderful setting of Millbrae in Ayrshire, just about a mile away from Alloway and the home of the Robert Burns Cottage. Live from Millbrae, Ayrshire Bulls against Glasgow Warriors A. Two teams going head to head as Glasgow Warriors A are welcomed into the FOSROC Super Series. While the home team did well in the championship, and it's a strong looking team that's been sent out by head coach Pat MacArthur. 4 players making their debuts for the Ayrshire Bulls. A further 4 could come off the bench to play for them for the first time. Grant Stewart, as the hooker's got plenty of experience, a former Scottish international player. He's in there. Ryan Sweeney and Blair Jardine and Luca Bardelli on the wing are the 4 that start who make their debuts. Plenty of good experience in there. Ed Bloodworth and the always very important number 8, Blair McPherson. Well, for Glasgow Warriors A, they'll be looked after this evening by Pete Horn. Although Franco Smith, head coach of Glasgow Warriors, is here. Plenty of experience and youth mixed right throughout this team. How would you like to pack down with Ollie Kebble facing you as prop? And what a half-back partnership as well. The experienced Sean Kennedy and Scotland international Duncan Weir. And look out for number 11, Ross McKnight, touted as one of the players of the championship last term. He is a strong running player and is attracting a lot of attention. On the other wing is Logan Jarvie. Christian Townsend slots in at fullback. So plenty of folks have come to watch this one. A lovely build-up in and around Millbrae. I will watch it in the company of Scotland's top cap holder, Chris Paterson. Chris, Glasgow Warriors here, coming to the party in this FOSROC Super Series Sprint, and a chance for some of the younger players to get a run out in Glasgow colours, and a chance for 1 or 2 experienced players to be able to pass on what they've learned over the years.
Yeah, good evening, Paul. Exactly that. The Glasgow Warriors A and Edinburgh Rugby A, they'll be involved for the first 3 weeks of the sprint. But it's a wonderful opportunity for players to get valuable game time and meaningful competitive fixtures. That rings true for both sides. I mean, you've already picked out 1 or 2 players, but something like Jamie Shedden, the Ayrshire Bulls midfield 13, he's a big athletic player, plays in the wing, plays at fullback, was impressive in the championship over the last couple of years. And then, you know, you look at the experience, you've already mentioned it, Sean Kennedy and Duncan Weir, the Glasgow Warriors A side. You've got Ali Miller with 7's experience as well as 15's experience. It's a really good match-up, and I think we'll, with the condition we have, we'll have a cracking game.
Well, Glasgow take to the field of play. There is Ollie Kebble, best described as a big unit. He doesn't mind that description, because that's exactly what he is. And if you're going to be in the Ayrshire Bulls scrum this evening, you are really going to have to get yourself going, because it is a formidable front row. So Glasgow in their change colours, the pale blue, as we wait for the home side to come out. They are currently being announced. Blair McPherson leads out the Ayrshire Bulls in one of the nicest rugby jerseys in the country, the black with the pink. As they will form a huddle, there is Pete Horn. It's his former assistant here at the Ayrshire Bulls, Pat MacArthur, who leads the home side. And just a chance for a few last-minute words. Richie Simpson wears 10, 4 with a headband, Ed Bloodworth. And wherever the action is, Ed Bloodworth will be there.
Yeah, he's had a terrific 2 or 3 seasons for Ayrshire Bulls. You mentioned the 10 as well, Richie Simpson. Some really standout performances in the recent under-20 Six Nations, and it's great for him to be head-to-head with Duncan Weir, with the experience that Duncan Weir has. That's maybe a snapshot of, you know, what we're looking for this evening, that contrast between the youth and the more experienced players getting an opportunity to go hard against each other, and we'll see who comes out on top.
Referee Rory Campbell, an experienced referee at this level, gets us underway. Immediately Blair Jardine goes in. Kennedy linked into the centre. Murphy Walker, it's gone out wide. It could be a great break here for Glasgow. Fullback to beat, inside to Kennedy. Lovely little handoff. There's the jink. Well, Ali Miller was in support.
Offside advantage, number 9.
Offside advantage. Reece Cullen has come in offside. Kennedy through to Angus Fraser with a red hair. bursting their way through
Leave that
come
back.
the Warriors.
Ball's there.
Ball is there out to Duncan Weir. Missed out Kebble. Ferry with a little pass in behind.
Back to
Now it comes
Dover.
out. Here's Logan Jarvie. Just taken out just as advantage over was called.
Go like 25 metres.
Yeah, it's just right on the call, advantage over. What a start from the Warriors. Christian Townsend was hit hard from the initial kickoff, but from there they went wide. And Ross McKnight took off up the left-hand side. This is a tackle
I think you're right if we get a clear one.
from Bardelli on Logan Jarvie, just as advantage is called over. Good defence actually from Bardelli's first start. Logan Jarvie strong, he got low and squat, but you can see the threat that Glasgow Warriors pose in terms of that width they want to play with. Murphy Walker was aggressive in ball carrying as well.
Down by Black. Leave it.
Bloodworth with the take.
Use 9.
Reece Cullen being told to use it. And he'll just leave that and let the forwards do the dirty work. McPherson from the base.
9 use. Stay
Counter
inside,
ruck
blue
is
back
there.
step.
Just getting back to his feet was Ali Miller. There's the kick. Call to contest it. That just comes off Logan Jarvie. And then Sean Kennedy making sure Barnelli wasn't going to go past him. But the first knock on, according to the referee, goes against the Ayrshire Bulls.
Yeah, as Bardelli has a busy first couple of minutes, doesn't he? The kick was, the box kick was a little bit short from Reece Cullen, but we see this in the game quite often. Teams are kicking shorter to make sure it's contestable, and the knock-on came from Ayrshire Bulls. But you can see how hard it is for Logan Jarvie, the Glasgow Warriors right winger, to get up and win that when it's so congested in and around the landing zone with the balls landing. And we see that, you know, a lot in rugby at the moment with the backfield when they're given time and space, the counter-attack can really cut you. So kicking shorter, making it contestable, and we've seen that over a number of years, but of recent times, the shorter contestable kick is much shorter than it used to be. It's pretty much up in the air.
Be quite tricky for the officials. You've got to get up with that quickly to see where it goes. It's not always taken cleanly.
It's even harder trying to catch it, Paul.
Nicely done through the hands of Duncan Munn. Comes into Duncan Weir. Sean Kennedy at the base. Well, the tackling has to be strong. Glasgow come again. Flick it out wide. The support comes from Ben Salmon. Here's Ollie Kebble, the no-look pass. Ewan Ferry. Weir pulls it back through the hands of Fraser. Munn gets it onto Ferry. There's the little spill. It went backwards. That allows Logan Jarvie to get on it. May have been off his feet. The referee was happy. Well, that's a tackle on Alex Samuel. Ryan Sweeney. Now the opportunity to move it wide. Ross McKnight gets it inside to the fullback. Here's the opportunity now for Ben Salmon. Salmon taking on his man. Oh, he's tucked underneath the tackle. Now it's available again. Comes out through Duncan Weir. The advantage for the knock on. The advantage over for the kick away. And now here comes the chase, and he is quick on the back. Elias Cavan has got such speed. Cavan trying to go all the way from his own 22. It bounces beautifully. Elias Cavan crashes over the line. He is a try-scoring machine. That is try number 18, appearance number 25. And he raced from defence and puts the Ayrshire Bulls ahead.
Scintillating pace, isn't it? It's a speed, and the speed you thought initially to get onto that loose ball. They were playing advantage, and the advantage is called over here from the knockouts. Blair McPherson, was it Sweeney, I think, that kicks it through, and then first to react is Cavan, and then he has the speed to get there ahead of Ross McKnight, ahead of Christian Townsend on that second time, and he's just so electric. I remember him scoring a try very similar to that, just to the left of where he scored that one at the start of last season's championship. He's such a threat, has scored for the Glasgow Warriors this season as well, out in South Africa. But that pace, that speed of thought, is such an important electric player. Playing at 15 this evening, more accustomed to the wing, but he's got the talent, he's got the speed to play anywhere across the back three, and it's a perfect start for Ayrshire Bulls, who really haven't had possession, but they've struck on the counter-attack and scored the first points. 20
consecutive kicks for Richie Simpson. Perfect in the championship, and gets the FOSROC Super Series Sprint up and running perfectly. They call him the Rocket Man, which is why you can hear the song. I don't think it's because he looks like Elton John.
I don't think it'll take much figuring out why. Look at the speed, look at the control as well on that kick through. He even got the bounce. Perfect start for the fullback.
That's a good take, look at Bardelli.
2 players gone front. They're going forward. Scrum. Good contest, but just players on the
Breakdown's fierce, Paul. Even from that very first carry, Murphy Walker, the first attack with Murphy Walker carried, the real contest once he made yardage over to the ball, and even there, Bardelli taking it bravely in the air, taking it in. It was a real contest. You've got some excellent players over the top of the ball, Ali Miller, Ewan Ferry, and the Glasgow Warriors A side. And of course, Sweeney, who's been outstanding over the years as well. Blair Jordan in the back row. Grant Stewart with some real head-to-heads in terms of the jackal, and we can see that already with the pressure on the breakdown.
Crutch!
Rhys Cullen, former Watsonian.
Binds!
Number 9 played 9 times for the Myerside side.
Steady.
You can almost feel that scrum coming together. Breaks out. Blair McPherson thinks, I'll have a go at this. Into Duncan Weir he goes. Ewan Ferry as well.
Off feet now, leave it! Leave it! Leave it!
Duncan Weir is trying to go through, but he's been told no. A little pull there.
Use that.
Quickly with men around the ball. Alex Samuel being ejected.
Use 9!
Well, it's clear both teams are up for this. Cullen. Townsend, safe pair of hands into Logan Jarvie. Jarvie held in the midfield. It's good tackle by Richie Simpson. Out to Weir. Weir through the hand to Duncan Munn. It's a good carry as well. Ben Salmon.
Good contest.
Comes through onto Kennedy. Kennedy plays it back onto Angus Fraser.
Forward.
It went forward from the pass just as Duncan Weir was trying to break. Angus Fraser never met a crash ball he didn't like.
You can see it. I'll say the same again, I've just said it, but the pressure and I suppose the desperation around the breakdown is so evident. Blair McPherson was in working really hard. I think William Farquhar as well almost got a turnover. And I think Glasgow Warriors are putting less players into the breakdown than Ayrshire Bulls are. And that as a result of that, the ball's a little bit scrappy. It can't quite get their timing onto it. And they'll be a wee bit disappointed with how inaccurate they've been so far, the Warriors. But I think a lot of that comes from the pressure on the breakdown that the Bulls are putting on.
Come. Okay, keep the breakthrough in place. Hold your space, please. Okay.
Referee just asking to hold the space. I mean, there's great experience in there with Ollie Kebble and Murphy Walker for Glasgow Warriors A. Both international players. Grant Stewart's been capped for Scotland. He's the Ayrshire Bulls hooker, so international experience in both front rows.
Binds!
Blair McPherson did really well from the last scrum because he picked quickly. Ayrshire Bulls were under pressure from the Warriors. Same here.
Still side 9.
Cullen gets it away. Some lovely running on the angle. Tackle looked just a little high, and it has been given. Cullen plays it through. Bardelli chasing. Weir tries to come across and has to ground it.
Go back for the high tackle.
They'll come back for the high tackle.
Yeah, it was can you rolled up from Ben Salmon. Actually, Ben Salmon turned in and just got caught on a little bit narrow, then had to scramble to get back to find Richie Simpson, who took the ball out the back of the short player. Really clever from Richie Simpson. He's one of the quickest in the squad, actually. Quick off the mark. He's got an eye for the gap, but you know, having Bobby Beattie there as first receiver inside him allowed Richie Simpson to get away, and Ben Salmon just turns his shoulders in and then did well to recover initially, but the tackle slid up on that man. And Ayrshire Bulls are not in the lead 7-0, but they're certainly building momentum in the game as well.
Championship runners-up though, it's the final after extra time to Watsonians. A thrilling afternoon at the Dam Stadium in Edinburgh. There's Grant Stewart. Rory Jackson's at 5.
Small.
The ball is called. Grant Stewart has it at the back. It breaks off to the side.
That's 9.
Battling in there's Gregor Brown with the black scrum cap for the Warriors.
Okay, 9 use.
Spot the ball. Somebody's losing their shorts. Very patriotic. Where has to be said as Rhys Cullen tries to go through. Alex Samuel tries to get it on the tackle. Ball's available. Again, good driving play by Ayr. Going to try and come round the corner again. See what their options are. Cullen sees the ball at the base. Advantage has come for Ayr. Holding the man in. Rhys Cullen tries to go.
Yeah, it's Alex Samuel playing Rhys Cullen. The scrum half, his left arm just comes over. There's a lot of pressure again at the breakdown. And Ayrshire Bulls decide to go for the 3. Really good carry from Blair McPherson again into Ewan Ferry, and then as a result Farquhar then goes, watch Ollie Keble tries to get into the ball, then he obviously gets dealt with, but there the left arm of Alex Samuel just touches Rhys Cullen. You can't do that, and it's an easy decision for the referee in the shadow of the post, and it's going to stretch the lead to 10-0.
Referee wants a word with Ed Bloodworth. As Richie Simpson gets himself ready. It's the right thing to do, just take the points, get the scoreboard moving.
I think it is. Glasgow Warriors defended that initial maul really quite well. They stopped it. Ayrshire Bulls were forced to use the ball really when they didn't want to, but that carry from Blair McPherson got them on the front foot. It got them ahead of the advantage line. But then put the pressure on the Glasgow Warriors defence. They give away the penalty, and that penalty is converted by that man, Richie Simpson.
So number 10 slots over the points, 10-0. The advantage, and it's the other number 10 now, Duncan Weir, on the restart. Up to the edge of the 22, Bardelli calls, catches and drives.
Never on ball. Play on.
The ball was available, it's a great little turnover. Now Kennedy passes it out, but the pass was in the way. It was clever play by Sean Kennedy.
It was, the space was up there. Duncan Munn winning the turnover as it goes loose. As Angus Fraser, and then can he go over the top of the ball, then the ball goes loose. Duncan Munn wins it there ahead of Shedden, and then Sean Kennedy knows the spaces on the right hand side outside Logan Jarvie, but the pass was inaccurate, but Bulls are offside.
Back on the line, please. On the line. Watch your timing, no early contact.
Well, Pat MacArthur will have a little smile at the moment. The side now has to absorb this pressure. Good take from Glasgow. There's the maul. Trying to get the ball to the back. On to Angus Fraser. And it's been knocked on.
Yeah, I think it's maybe Ewan Ferry who's knocked it on an active scoring. And that's a frustrating one for Glasgowers, because the drill prior to that was excellent. The throw from Angus Fraser was absolutely perfect. And the catch from Alex Sam was the top of the jump towards the back of the line out. And then they got the roll on. Everything's perfect right up until this point. And Ferry knocks on.
Small margins.
That'll be a concern for Ayrshire Bulls though, in terms of how quickly the Warriors A got that maul moving. So it'll be a warning not to give away too many penalties in their own half, because I think the Warriors will go and use that line out time and time again. That was so effective.
Steady, stay up.
Rhys Cullen pops it in. Blair McPherson, he's going to try and pop past Ewan Ferry. Sets it centre. You can hear Rhys Cullen calling right. Bloodworth.
Tackle off 10.
Tackle made. Rory Jackson seemed to get on the wrong side. He's lucky the tackler hadn't moved away. Rory Campbell, our referee, fairly insistent on that point.
I didn't call ball, I said tackle.
Have another look at this.
Tackles to the ball, what else can I do?
I actually think Duncan Weir did release it. I think Ewan Ferry was maybe on the wrong side, but Duncan Weir flies up, gets into Sweeney, and then as he's on the ball there, the referee calls tackle. You watch Duncan Weir's arms come off the ball there.
You're on the line.
And then because Ewan Ferry hasn't rolled away until now, he's preventing the support player from Ayrshire Bulls to get in. So I think it was actually Ferry who was penalised, but Duncan Weir's getting the blame for it.
He's taking it personally, is Duncan.
He'll always give his all, Duncan Weir. A real top pro, top competitor. He's already thrown himself into a few challenges.
Rory Jackson with a take. Been a good start for the Ayrshire Bulls. Cullen down the blind side he goes. A little bit of support coming in there from Logan Jarvie. Trying to cover, it was Thomas Glendinning coming down the side.
Good tackle with Ross McKnight, actually.
2 players here.
Rhys Cullen is so sharp, he got on the outside edge of Ollie Kebble there.
Guys,
Meaning
you're
Sean
on the
Kerry had to step in, but that tackle there from Ross McKnight, it was excellent. Wrapped up the ball, Ollie Kebble got back and helped out as well.
line. I'll have a word, right?
Thomas Glendinning, 20-year-old.
Good throw.
Nicely taken. Up through Miller. Driving in was Ewan Ferry. Sean Kennedy. Elias Cavan
50-20s on, guys.
just will bounce up for him. Gives him time to size up. Go for the kick, hasn't found the line. Christian Townsend is underneath it. Hooks it high in the air, taken by Ross McKnight.
Off feet now.
Kennedy on the inside onto Ewan Ferry. He's carrying so
Tackle
well.
out. Leave it 8.
Duncan Weir hooks it high.
Tackle. No player there.
It's
You can play
presented
that.
back for Sean Kennedy. Well, again, plenty of willing runners for Glasgow, but they'll have to go to the air once more. It's a good take by Rhys Cullen. Immediately gets some help from Ed Bloodworth, who then pats his scrum half on the back.
Lost blue, leave it. Leave it.
It's been lost blue.
No. Ball's there.
Gregor Brown didn't quite agree with the assessment of the referee. That comes through the hands of Richie Simpson.
No. Out. No. You don't know. You're not going to play me like that. It's a scrub.
Wow, Rhys Cullen has been pinged there
The ball was
for
there.
the fake from the bottom of the ruck.
Yes.
Well, it was bought, it has to be said. Chris, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I think Murphy Walker thinks he's going to come out and is sent back from the referee, and it's just he's getting
Let's
sent
go.
back and doing as he's told. Rhys Cullen then kind of flicks the ball out and tries to buy a penalty with Murphy Walker being offside, but Rory Campbell's not having any of it. A nod to the Ayrshire Bulls defence there. They forced the Warriors into the box kick because the defence was excellent. The Warriors stretched the Ayrshire Bulls defence early on both edges and really looked dangerous, but anything that's been attacked a little bit narrow, the Ayrshire Bulls defence has been excellent. They're getting 2 men in the tackle, they're slowing the possession when it's in the ground, they're then making it difficult around the breakdown. I think that where the Warriors have had more success and where they'd like to get the ball to is outside that edge of the Ayrshire Bulls defence, because they're certainly not getting much change up the middle.
Give a clear gap, please.
So the free kick for closing the gap and going early. And as is the right of the Ayrshire Bulls, they've selected the scrum just to try and keep the pressure on. It's interesting because they've not been struggling to get the ball out, but it's been an effort.
Crouch.
Yeah, it looks to me as if Glasgow Warriors have certainly got the nudge on in the scrum, but
Set.
we keep going back to the man Blair McPherson, number 8. He's so good under pressure. That's a better scrum from the Bulls.
9.
Really steady. On to McKnight. Townsend going back. They'll have to play it. Tries to step away from Jimmy Snedden. Little clip ball.
Advantage.
McPherson's been knocked on.
Back on.
Well, they'll be a little bit disappointed there. That was a good counter position for them.
Good kick from Richie Simpson initially, putting
Box here.
Glasgow Warriors in that bottom corner. Ross McKnight, kind of poor decision that, really. There's not space for the chip.
All right. Yeah. Sorry.
And Blair McPherson, as you say, will be disappointed they couldn't pick it up because it would be an opportunity. I think Ross McKnight should kick that either long or just run hard. But it came from that long kick from the scrum for Richie Simpson.
Looks like Murphy Walker
Breakdown. What are you seeing there?
down at the moment.
He's been busy so far, hasn't he? The scrums are going well. There's Ollie Kebble on the other side of the scrum as well. But the last scrum for Ayrshire Bulls was rock solid. Exactly what you want in that centre field scrum that allows you to play both ways. And well, there's Franco Smith there in the left of your screen, along with the Glasgow Warriors coaching staff, Pete Murchie, Nigel Carlin, Greg Woolard, all there. Interesting to see Frank's mic'd up as well. Franco's mic'd up.
I was just about to say that to you. It's supposed to be a night
Stand
off
back
for him
on.
as such. Come and watch, but obviously wants contact with
Let's go.
Pete Horn.
It's good to see though, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
having a handle on every game that your club, your brand's being represented in. He's a hard worker, he's a hard taskmaster. But it's just been such a success at Glasgow Warriors this year, Franco Smith. Really highly respected.
Well, his first game in charge was the friendly against the Ayrshire Bulls. It was the full Glasgow Warriors side, played up in Inverness. Over 3,000 people went to see it. 22-17, won by the pro side. It was a little bit close at the end.
Binds.
Air bit back.
Set.
Sean Kennedy.
Blue tech step out.
Penalty, stepping out and moving it round. I've never met a forward that's ever said, yeah, ref, you're right, I did that.
I know,
Blue set for me coming across.
every time. It wasn't me.
It was never me, ref.
It's also on similar lines. I've never heard a player say they've not had a great pre-season. You know, the first game of the year. It's been a great pre-season.
Guys on the line,
It's in the
please.
same category as that.
Yep,
Back on the line.
Bloodworth,
They're on line. Back across.
key man in the line out for the Ayrshire Bulls. Here's Angus Fraser, former Stirling Wolves player, in his debut for the main Warriors against Bath this season.
That's once.
He has the ball at the back. Getting some help. Kennedy trying to follow as the scrum half.
Don't change. Don't change. No, 6. No, leave it.
And the ball almost came out and eventually has. Picked up well by Duncan Munn. Kennedy into Ferry. It's advantage Warriors A. Kennedy again, told to go on the inside. Gets his way past Ryan Sweeney.
You've got your advantage, 9.
Still got the advantage. Good communication from the referee. I think that's called a guddle.
Captain. Penalty here.
No way through there for Alex Samuel.
No, it was. I think the referee boot Sean Kennedy off, asking if he still wanted his advantage. He says yes, and then threw a pass at that. And I thought, no, I think we'll take the penalty now. But it's more good defence actually from Ayrshire Bulls. Sean Kennedy almost getting away close to the breakdown, and I think they could have been penalised actually. I think they were penalised twice in that succession. Grant Stewart lying over top of the ball for the second penalty. And this is the warning we spoke about before. It's an excellent kick from Duncan Weir. You know what's coming. It's going to be this. Well, we saw it last weekend with Glasgow Warriors against the Dragons. You know, set up about 5 tries, didn't it? from
Johnny
Kenny
Matthews, yeah.
Well, 4 of his 5. The other one came from 50 metres away. But the line out so far from the Warriors has been excellent. The delivery, the throw, and the catch has been excellent. I wonder if we'll see the drive again.
Up it goes,
Free lead
down
now,
it
don't
comes.
change.
It's a question of can they get the ball to the back. It is in the hand of Angus Fraser. Fraser now driving close to the line. It's going to open up. Can he ground? That's the question. He can. Textbook work from the Warriors. Taken perfectly in the air by Alex Samuel. Down it came, and Angus Fraser crosses the try line.
Yeah, another hooker scoring from the driving maul. It's there's a theme there in the Glasgow Warriors outfit, but it's excellent. Another good throw. Alex Samuel gets up, wins it. Ayrshire Bulls don't get off the ground to contest, so initially their defence of the drive is quite good, but there Glasgow Warriors just reset. They come back to the left. The ball's always under control. And Angus Fraser's left arm, and then Duncan Weir's in behind him to drive him over the line as well. The back's coming. Duncan Munn as well. Gregor Brown working hard at the front, and there's the ball down from Fraser. He's had a good start, Angus Fraser. He's been really busy. He's been accurate with his throws, and he's got his first try.
So Duncan Weir has played 6 times for Glasgow Warriors in 2023. Sizes up the kick. That needs to try and come back. It's just gone wide.
Yeah, I'm disappointed with that. Duncan Weir is watching the warm-up, kick almost everything. Here's another look at it. And we said before, the threat of conceding penalties in and around halfway. Duncan Weir's excellent touch finder, set up the perfect position, and the line out is so well oiled. And this is a worry for Glasgow Warriors. One dropped on the bench. Manny McCallum's going to join the fray as he Kebble himself.
So Glasgow have only been able to name one prop on the bench, as Chris alluded to, and it's Murray McCallum. 5 years with Heriots, former Edinburgh. Glasgow Warriors, Worcester, and then back to Edinburgh, making a guest appearance this evening. Ollie Kemble's just played once for Glasgow Warriors in 2023. It's been out a long time, and I'll be hoping it's not a reoccurrence of anything. Neatly done through the hands of Murphy Walker. Now they're flying. Come Glasgow, little ball on the inside onto Kennedy. It was excellent play from Walker. Now out wide it goes. Can Ross McKnight find his way through? Lovely little ball on the inside. Glasgow are flying here, having got the first score. And it's up with Gregor Brown. Where's eight? It's turned over. Turnover is good. Reece Cullen tries to find his way. How about that for a little flick pass? Nicely done onto Ryan Sweeney. Sweeney moves the ball. Reece Cullen again. Oh, that got blocked down. Well, there's a rip. Tremendous play. Ben Salmon tried to get there.
Right, count the turnovers in that Fusi play. I tell you what, it started with a brilliant offload from Gregor Brown, getting his hands free and flicking out the back of the hand to ball to Murphy Walker, who must have made 50 yards up the field. Another excellent run, and then the ball was turned over at the far side. Gregor Brown this time just losing control of possession. And then remember, Ayrshire Bulls scored a try from the quick transition from the turnover earlier on. They tried to do the same thing, and then we had about 14 turnovers and about 15 hand and errors and a whistle. And there we go. There's the rip, the catch, the drop, everything. Chaos. Ross McKnight had that. He got in the end of the pass from Murphy Walker and made an excellent run as well. But again, scrambled defence from Ayrshire Bulls is efficient, it's effective, and it stopped an excellent attack from the Warriors. This is just after the initial break. This is Ross McKnight. He breaks about 4 tackles here, looking for the space. But look at the number of Ayrshire Bulls defenders. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 poor tackle attempts. Jarden gets back and makes a tackle, but there's lots of defensive numbers there. And Ross McKnight picked up a bump.
Yeah, the way he was tackled, there was no way he could cushion the fall. That's the result. Well, they'll check him. That is for sure. That's bad for Ollie Kebble. 12 times capped for Scotland, but he's clearly in some pain. You can see Pete Horn had no choice but to authorise the change.
So the props that are on the field now, say Murphy Walker, who's been on from the start, Murray Callum has just joined us. They'll have to do the full shift. There's no other front row replacement other than, well, a hook out for Jamie Drummond, but it looks like Ross McKnight is being replaced as well, as you see Ollie Kebble slowly making his way to the touchline.
We've got 14 left. Let's get some straight on now.
There's been a wee change of jersey number. 23 is Amino Mogadar.
Okay, guys, we'll start setting up.
And he trots his way onto the field. And I think it's absolutely right. The Ross McKnight comes off. Just get himself checked. Looked like a sore one. And certainly a little bit of blood from the nose as well.
Ayrshire Bulls will be looking for a solid scrum again here. They've just been under a little bit of pressure, obviously, since Glasgow Warriors scored that try, and momentum swinging back towards the Warriors.
Well, that's just what you need from an Ayrshire Bulls perspective, is to take that scrum and get the penalty advantage.
When you have another look at that one, I thought Murphy Walker was in a good position, and maybe Farquhar turned in a little bit. Difficult for the referee, even harder for us because we were further away. I just, I thought the loose head looks turned in a wee bit, but Ray Campbell saying that Murphy Walker's feet are too far back and the slip comes away.
Taking a step forward and then just come down.
William Farquhar just being checked.
Might just be a slip, but he got a step forward.
It's a problem with the shoulder. Just trying to assess the strength.
Ray Campbell saying that the first movement forward, the first step forward came from Ayrshire Bulls before it went down, so he's just clarifying. I think here's Sean Kennedy going to have a word.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, for me, yeah, feet just go down, but yeah. I know you probably don't know what I'm talking about. I don't either, so.
Well, whether you agree with the referee or whether you don't, if he's prepared to offer you the explanation, at least you know where you are.
And done properly through the captain and Sean Kennedy as well. I think Manny McCallum was asking a question, having had a look there. I mean, simultaneously as they hit the ground, but Farquhar looks as if he's turned in a little bit more. But Rory Campbell correctly saying that Ayrshire Bulls went forward first, so that first step forward came from the Bulls before it dropped.
Stick him on the 10, Toddy.
Richie Simpson with the clearing kick.
Line, guys.
27 minutes gone. Entertaining contest. Ayrshire Bulls, Glasgow Warriors A, FOSROC Super Series Sprint, the opening match. Grant Stewart. No, it's all the way over. No, Fraser flings the ball back. It's a great recovery from Duncan Weir. Dragged down by Ed Bloodworth.
Out here. Good, well done. No, no.
Out it comes from Kennedy. Through the hands of 13, that's Ben Salmon. Look at the hit, I mean,
No, three.
Calvin Henderson went backwards.
Don't touch him.
It's a big collision, wasn't it?
Oh.
Manny McCallum running, Calvin Henderson standing his ground.
Nicely out through. One. There's the little bounce from Logan Jarvie. Well, he's one of the lightest players on the pitch, but he'll go in with that bounce. Weir gets it from Gordon. There's the little flick off. Tries to get it to Murphy Walker again.
You can see the space on the edge of the Ayrshire Bulls. They're a bit thin out wide. But the defence is excellent in the midfield. They really are scrambling well.
Williamson and Samuel setting up Gregor Brown. Is there a way through? Look at the step overs there. It's brilliant work from Max Williamson. Kennedy on to Weir. Immediately brought down. Tackler has to release. There's the counter ruck coming through. That was good play as well from Jamie Shedden.
Advantage.
Well, there's the knock on, so the advantage to the Bulls. Cullen. William Farquhar. It's excellent play from Blair Jordan as well. They'll come back for the scrum down. Nothing came from the advantage.
I tell you what, we spoke about one or two head-to-heads before the game, and Duncan Weir was mentioned between him and Richie Simpson, but I tell you what, there's a head-to-head between Duncan Weir and Blair Jordan. The Ayrshire Bulls 7, they're going at each other every single opportunity. There's the knock-on from Glasgow Warriors, and then as it comes back out, I think William Farquhar gets hit. Look at Duncan Weir, he said he wants to be involved in everything. Watch this, gets a collision and gets right on top of the ball there. Survives the clear out in terms of holding his ground. He can't be rewarded because of an advantage, but Duncan Weir is certainly head-to-head with Blair Jordan. As a combative soul as Duncan Weir, as is Blair Jordan.
Set.
Scrum starts to stand up. Cullen smartly gets it away through the hands of Simpson. Out wide it goes. Shedden. There's a little offload. That's beautiful play. Mardelli getting involved. Well, Richie Simpson's got great pace, but he's got quick hands as well.
Broken away. Play on.
Glasgow sends the turnover, and they have it. Kennedy out wide. Weir. Is there a way through? Kennedy. Played back inside by Alex Samuel. Penalty. There was hands there. They weren't back 10, but it's been allowed to be taken quickly. Sean Kennedy. Willie Jackson looked slow to release. Ferry, little flick on the inside. Kennedy on to Weir. Oh, beautiful hands by Murphy Walker again. And McCallum, here's the opportunity for Duncan Munn. He's taken down, flicked back up again onto Murray McCallum. The penalty for holding on.
Some of the handling from the Glasgow Warriors is excellent. Manny McCallum really coming to the fore up the middle of the field. But a brilliant tackle. I think it's from Shedden, was it? Look at the hands from Murphy Walker to Manny McCallum, and then this tackle here, Shedden gets back and makes it, and Duncan Munn, that's crucial. That's a try saver. Manny McCallum working hard to get that second instance, and then Bobby Beattie gets over the top of the ball, wins the penalty. But again, Glasgow Warriors are keeping the ball in hand. I think there's space to kick to. I think they need to turn the Ayrshire Bulls, but mainly because Ayrshire Bulls' defence has been outstanding. Even when it's been broken, even when it's not been perfect, that secondary effort, that scramble has been really top-notch, and that'll frustrate the Warriors because even the good stuff, even the half breaks, they can't capitalise on because of that scramble defence.
Yeah, Thomas Glendenning as well with a really important tackle. The line out is won that time. Bloodworth up.
No, up. Advantage. Play advantage.
The advantage is coming. Cullen just yells, "I'll beat you, take that one," and they will come back for the
Go
penalty.
back to the penalty.
Oh, well, it's kicking off here. The smiles break out. Murray McCallum is peacemaker.
Okay, two.
Grant Stewart as well,
Back we come.
on with Murphy Walker.
Done. We'll go back.
It's interesting, Blair McPherson, whether he was leading with his arms seemed to come up, and I think that angered Gregor Brown, just as Gregor Brown came in to make the tackle, but it fizzled out fairly quickly. This is a penalty advantage here.
Yeah, just offside.
Yep. I think Grant Stewart was quite happy to take the penalty there, but everybody else wanted to play.
That's a pretty decent kick as well. Well, when they're being asked to, Duncan Weir and Richie Simpson, the kicking has been excellent.
Give it up, please.
He really controls it. He has a lot of time on the ball, Richie Simpson, doesn't he? He just said everybody speaks about the number 10 in world rugby, and I think everybody has an opinion of what a number 10 should be, and there seems to be this assumption that a number 10 does X, Y, and Z, but he looks like a number 10. His time and possession, his kicking, his distribution, his attack. Pat MacArthur there, the head coach, you saw looking on, will be really pleased to have him in his ranks because he really is developing nicely as a quality outside half.
Back off blue.
Didn't come off Sweeney as he wanted there. And now this is where they've been decent. Ben Salmon and Duncan Munn trying to find space to run. Good covering defence. You can see there Logan Jarvie, 14 for the Warriors, taken down. McCallum played the ball back. It's Gordon. Gregor Brown. And there's the kick on the angle. That was an awkward one for Jimmy Shedden. And the ball spins out.
That ball's come away.
Angus Fraser penalised, not coming in correctly.
Shedden did well to cover it, but there's definitely kick space for the Warriors. I think that's almost the first kick in open play. Shedden got back and covered it.
7.
Angus Fraser, I don't think he knows much about that, does he? The ball's almost hanked round him as he's trying to roll out the way. I think it's unfortunate to be penalised for that. And there's a stoppage. I think Blair McPherson's down getting treatment.
If I see anything from you,
Really quite a heavy collision between him and Alex Samuel just at the line out. And Alex Samuel won an excellent ball against the throw, and they both came down just completely accidentally on each other. It was a big collision, and I think maybe Blair McPherson's ankle got caught underneath Samuel as he landed. The Ayrshire Bulls won't want to lose him.
Always think as a player when you watch somebody else getting strapped up and the boots being attached to them by tape, you know they're going to not walk properly tomorrow.
Or get the boot off before they go to bed, eh?
I hope you'll fight this half time.
Nothing bothers
He's
McPherson.
He's an outstanding player though. Last year, we mentioned it before, Worcester Warriors couldn't fulfil the pre-season game with Glasgow Warriors in Inverness, so Ayrshire Bulls stepped up and played, and it was brilliant to see Blair McPherson against the pros, because he's been outstanding at this level for so long, through the Premiership winning years and the Super 6 and the Super Series. And then to see him in the pro environment playing for his club, he was excellent. He was one of the players of the match. He really is. Whoever's against him, whatever team he's playing for, he's outstanding.
Nice try,
So Richie Simpson, 5 minutes to play, absorbing first half in this FOSROC Super Series Sprint. Glasgow Warriors A and Edinburgh Rugby A both join the tournament for the first 3 rounds. They'll drop out. Another 3 matches, and then the top 2 will go head to head for the FOSROC Super Series Sprint title. And it comes, taken well by Rory Jackson. Grant Stewart, little flick inside onto Rhys Cullen. Darkness starting to grip this ground. There's Cullen. It was adventurous, Glendinning. Thought about the direct route. Cullen back up quickly. Long on the inside. It's picked up by William Farquhar. Held up there. Murphy Walker, 3 for Glasgow.
Okay, too close.
I'll tell you what, Chris, I mean, it is literally black against blue, and they will be both black and blue come the end of this one.
Yeah, really impressed with Ayrshire Bulls in terms of how cohesive they've looked. Haven't played. This is they've had the last 2 weekends. They've had kind of warm-up fixtures, but they've not had a competitive fixture. And there's, let's say, 4 new players starting for the first time. They've got other players change, but they're so cohesive. That line out attack was excellent. There's a lovely little ball back inside to Rhys Cullen, who was well tackled actually initially. And this is, I think, is it Calvin Henderson's maybe picked up a knock for Farquhar? Not sure, but the Ayrshire Bulls, they really are. That pass is in the air too long, allowing the Glasgow Warriors defence to get over and cover Thomas Glendinning, but they are very cohesive, very aggressive, and they're managing the game well. You know, those 3 points that Richie Simpson kicked to go 10-0 up, they're valuable at the moment as well. It would be an almost perfect time to score just before half time for the Ayrshire Bulls as well, if they can manage it.
Yeah.
So Pat MacArthur watching on. Capped 6 times for Scotland, played for Glasgow Warriors over 150 times. And he'll be thrilled with the way his team have been playing.
There's an interesting scrum here. If they can get a stable platform, we've already seen the pace of Rhys Cullen and Richie Simpson. So Glasgow Warriors, if they do get a little bit wide in defence, they've got threat there. They've got that blind side as well. I see Thomas Glendinning just the right hand side of the scrum. You might see him cutting down that right hand side. There's Rhys Cullen, played in the Scotland Sevens for a long time, been at Bristol as well. Really quick in and around the ball. Here, if it's a solid scrum, he might just look to attack that space to his right.
Perfect camera angle to illustrate what's happening. He picked up, there's the offload. Penalty, they're offside, taken quickly by Cullen. Cullen goes there, flicks it out wide. Here's the opportunity for Rory Jackson. Jackson tries to play it back inside. Grant Stewart tried to catch it. Ball is still live. Kennedy off onto Weir.
Back to Dover.
Munt. Oh, that was a difficult one. That was Jarvie got taken down. Kennedy.
Leave now, back.
Kennedy again, trying to find a way to set themselves up perhaps for the clearance. Played back that time by Ali Miller. It's a dangerous game to try and play it out from there. You could see the attempted rip from Rory Jackson.
I didn't say Cox said. No. Take him back, scrum 5.
Oh, it's a scrum 5, but I'm not sure. I had to look twice to see that the ball had been kicked behind. There's 2.5 minutes to go.
Well, Rory Campbell said I didn't call time, so I can only imagine. I can only imagine that Sean Kennedy thought he'd called time for some reason, but as you say, there's 2 minutes, or 2.5 minutes at that point. Glasgow Warriors forcing it from inside their in-goal area. Angus Fraser did really well to get back and cover. 2 minutes left, just confirming there for Rory Campbell. There's Sean Kennedy kicking it dead. He obviously assumes it's half time, of course he does, but well, it could be a costly mistake.
Sometimes time does stand still, but not enough. Oh, here's a real opportunity just before the break. Rhys Cullen. 12 is Bobby Beattie. Likes a crash ball. Bardelli's come out wide. Scrums come round. And they will reset. The big headband figure there wearing 5 of Alex Samuel. Alex Samuel, locked forward 7 times he's played for Warriors top team. 3 starts off the bench 4 times. Keep going back to it, but if this is a solid scrum,
Blair McPherson be licking his lips. If it twists towards the Ayrshire Bulls left, he can attack up that short side. If he gets it, the scrum up on the right hand side, he gets a free run almost at Duncan Weir with a 7 or 8 metre run up. Bobby Beat is looking interested as well, as you say, number 12. So that'll be in the eye line of Duncan Weir as well.
Scrum stayed steady. 9 has to use it. He's been told. Cullen trying to get his hands on the ball, but they will get the penalty for Glasgow going down. So what's your choice here? Do you take the 3 points? Do you kick to the corner?
Well, I think they might take another scrum. Or a tap penalty, perhaps.
There's your mark.
I thought they would maybe kick the one that Rhys Callan took quickly before, more centrally, that quick tap penalty. I thought they may have opted to kick at goal, but yeah, they have gone for the scrum.
Thank you.
That the scrum's moving towards the right, further infield, so that blind side is getting bigger and bigger, where Bardelli on the left-hand side. So Glasgow Warriors have to obviously have Logan Jarvie there, but there you go. Sean Kennedy has to cover that right-hand side as well. So it opens up a bit of space on the far side for, we spoke about McPherson and Richie Simpson and Bobby Beattie. Big moment in the match, this, Paul.
It's going to be the last action of the half. Glasgow, now if they wish and get the ball, can kick it through the touch zone and pop it out. Well, matches turned on moments like this. If I'm the Bulls, Chris, I want this in and out as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Bind. Set.
Cullen in.
It's a good scrum for the Warriors.
McPherson, oh, it was opened up for Cullen. Bardelli has it, he's immediately swarmed by Jarvie and Co.
Use.
Well, if that had gone to hand, Rhys Cullen was in. As it is, it's the big lads that are trying to do the damage now. Cullen again, presented with the ball, and it comes. There's the little duo. Now it'll get flicked back to Cullen once more. Cullen through McPherson. McKnight trying to find his way through. Beg your pardon, it's Simpson. Cullen. And the penalty will go Glasgow's way. Straight off the feet. That time it was Rory Jackson.
If you're going to latch, you have to be up.
Yeah, good defence from the Warriors. Every phase they managed to drive the Ayrshire Bulls back. This will be interesting. I think Duncan Weir might want to play this. So obviously, if he taps it before kicking it out, they'll go to half-time. He hasn't kicked it straight out, so Glasgow Warriors will have this attack. So defence was initially scrambled really well when Rhys Cullen almost got away, but then thereafter, Gregor Bound working really hard to get in over the ball. So Murray McCallum with the tackle as well. Here we go.
Well, they're going for it. Weir sends it on the inside. That's come loose. And the ball may present itself. Kennedy plays it through the knock on, and that will mean the half will come to a close. Both will head to the dressing rooms on what's been an attritional opening 40 minutes plus between the Ayrshire Bulls and the Glasgow Warriors A. Half-time at Millbrae, it's the home side with the advantage. The Ayrshire Bulls 10, Glasgow Warriors A 5. Welcome back to Millbrae, our coverage this evening of the FOSROC Super Series Sprint, the opening game between the Ayrshire Bulls and Glasgow Warriors. Warriors in the blue. Well, they couldn't hold on to the ball. It was hacked forward, and Elias Caven watched the pace here. I mean, Christian Townsend at 15 in the pale blue for Glasgow is no slouch, but he couldn't get on the end of it. And then that dream little bounce up as Logan Jarvie tried to gather. Just a misplay, that's all it was.
Yeah, it was Max Williamson. Couldn't quite keep a hold of the ball, and then Ryan Sweeney pounced on it on an advantage, just fly hacked it through. And then the pace of Caven, who said in commentary that he scored 2 or 3 tries similar to that over the last couple of seasons. Caven. And he's also scored for Glasgow Warriors against the Lions, the team that Glasgow Warriors play tomorrow night in Europe. You can see they're focused totally on the ball, but then he has to slow, he has to chop his stride, he has to make sure that the kick's accurate enough. It goes a long way around Christian Townsend. And he's even got the ball in a piece of string to sit back right up from. And Glasgow Warriors had actually started the game pretty well, had looked at a real threat attacking wise on the outside edge. This was in 4 minutes. And it was almost the first time they didn't really have the ball, Ayrshire Bulls, but the first attack from a turnover, and they went 7 points to 0 up.
Well, Elias Caven, he got the score to 10-0. This was just textbook from Glasgow from the line out. Angus Fraser had at the back. You can see the Bulls had plenty of players there, but the momentum forward, and Duncan Weir joining in, so too Duncan Munn. And the Duncans did enough to get Angus over the line. Yeah,
maybe about 5 or 6 minutes prior to that, Glasgow Warriors, this was in the 21st minute, Glasgow Warriors had almost a carbon copy opportunity. It was Ewan Ferry that just couldn't quite place the ball properly from a really good attacking driving maul. So this was the second attempt 10 minutes later, and it was really effective. And I think we'll probably see more of this from Glasgow Warriors in the second half. They've probably not kicked enough. They've played in front of the Ayrshire Bulls defence, and the story really for the first half for me is in the Ayrshire Bulls defence. They didn't have an answer to this driving maul, but in open play, as you see Angus Fraser clearly getting the ball down over the line, the Ayrshire Bulls defence has been really, really good.
FOSROC Super Series Sprint. 2 games being played on this Friday evening. You're with us. Ayrshire Bulls leading the Glasgow Warriors A 10-5. The Stirling Wolves and the Boroughmere Bears are going head-to-head in Stirling, 15 points to 10. The Edinburgh side lead. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, Watsonians, the champions of the championship, get underway against the Southern Knights, now in the hands of Alan Tate, former Scotland international player. And then live on BBC Sports Scotland, Edinburgh A step into the tournament. They will play Goldacre against Heriots. So a good crowd attracted to this fixture. Chance to see some of the experienced players of Glasgow Warriors, some of the up-and-coming youngsters as well. There's 1 or 2 of the Glasgow Warriors A players who will be able to come down. There's Al Killock, who is there. He had the odd scrum or 2 in his day, as you can tell by the ears. Ferocious competitor, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Managing director at Glasgow Warriors now, doing a cracking job. Andy McPherson next to him as well. John Manson, the general manager at Glasgow Warriors. So they'll be enjoying the opportunity the players have got this evening in order to play, test themselves, get competitive fixtures under the belt, get valuable game minutes. And one thing that Franco Smith has done at Glasgow Warriors is rotated his squad all season, and there are, because the squads are so deep, there are players who haven't had a huge amount of rugby who are getting the opportunity now to put their hand up. But I think Al and the Glasgow Warriors staff are a bit frustrated that he was second best in that first half for long periods of it. So they'll be looking for a response in the second.
Yeah, looking for some of the players to step up, probably more experienced up front than they are through the centre and on the wings. It is a young back line, but they need the platform to get them the ball. And we will see how Glasgow Warriors A react. It's against the Ayrshire Bulls side, 20 FOSROC home games. They've won 15, they've lost only 5. Heriots, Southern Knights and 3 times Watsonians have been successful here. And since 2021 they've only lost at home against Watsonians. All 3 meetings they've lost, all been within a score. So it's been hard going for anybody that comes here. And Glasgow Warriors A, as we've mentioned, Chris, are finding exactly the same. They don't have much on the bench. It's a fairly young bench as well.
Yeah, and there's Franco Smith there, Nigel Carlin as well. I think they'll want. They've obviously came with a plan to attack and try and stretch and get on the outside edge of the Ayrshire Bulls defence. And when they've got on the edge, it's been effective. But when they've not quite got to the extra width, the Ayrshire Bulls defence, including their scramble defence, has been excellent. So I think they'll want Glasgow Warriors to kick a little bit more, to turn the defence, to try and find space in behind, apply a bit more pressure on the Ayrshire Bulls. So I think there might be a more tactical approach to the second half. But we'll see.
Glasgow Warriors led out by Sean Kennedy, been on the fringes of things in terms of playing. 5 times off the bench, the former Edinburgh man. He's also involved in coaching for the Stirling Wolves, but called to pull on the jersey this evening. Murray McCallum off the bench tonight. Colours that he's worn before. There's Rhys Cullen, Elias Cavan, and Luca Bardelli all return. Pete Horn coaching this Glasgow Warriors A side, but you can see from the earpiece he's in contact all the time with Franco Smith. Fascinating 40 minutes ahead. Duncan Weir, Scotland internationalist, gets us underway.
Tackle!
Well, when you come out at the start of the second half, you want to get a good take and a good clearance, but the ball is out and available. Cullen manages to turn it back in.
Tackle now!
It's a difficult one for Ryan Sweeney. Here's Richie Simpson. It's a great kick, forcing Townsend back. Wagadraw. The Bulls have made a change. Andrew Nimmo has been introduced. And it's him who's on the ball.
Advantage over.
Cullen. Into the corner it goes. Townsend comes, slides. Did he call the mark? He did.
Really well covered by Christian Townsend. It's a difficult thing to do, to cover a kick as a fullback from the scrum half, because you don't see the preparation. The ball's in the air, it's already gone before you can pick up the flight. Use it if it's from a first receiver or from 1 or 2 passes out. As a fullback, you can see the ball being kicked. There he has to react really quickly, and he did well. It's an excellent kick as well in a narrow angle up to almost halfway.
Got it.
That's how to do it.
Big collision. Glasgow Warriors were building their counter-attack as Blair McPherson put a massive tackle in Angus Fraser, who spilled the ball in the midfield. That gave the opportunity for Rhys Cullen to put that kick in, so more good defence of the Bulls at the start of the second half.
Great level of physicality in this contest. And Stewart with a ripped jersey, and he's thrown it over the top again. Angus Fraser gathers. He's done that twice in the match now. Glasgow through Kennedy, on to Weir. Weir through the hands of Duncan Munn. Logan Jarvie sent backwards. Kennedy again, nicely through the hands of Alex Samuel.
Advantage.
Well, the advantage has been called for the knock-on.
Whistle's gone.
And the whistle goes, and the scrum down will go the way of Ayrshire. Just a little bit loose there, Glasgow.
Yeah, a bit misunderstanding, isn't it? Duncan Weir probably shown to go at the back and then trying to confuse the defence by doing it short to Murray McCallum, who wasn't really quite expecting it. He got hit late as well. It's another turnover. There's 2 attacks in the opening 2 minutes for Glasgow Warriors that have resulted in handling errors in the second half. And when you're chasing the game, it's a frustrating thing. But you could see also when they did get the ball to the outside edge, they made a little bit of space, but when they came back and got caught in that midfield, we keep saying it, it's the story of the game. It's the Ayrshire Bulls defence is really strong across that middle third of the field.
Cullen in, McPherson advantage. Cullen through Simpson, Simpson to Beattie, Beattie with a pass out wide, but the pass was forwards. Thomas Glendenning was flying down the wing after it. Happy with the penalty.
I was just about to say that was a great pass for Bobby Beattie, but I didn't realise it had gone forward. It was really good because he was square at the line and he fizzed it. Obviously it went forward, so it wasn't a great pass, but the idea of fixing that defence there and just fizzing it right, you see how narrow Boggy Draw is. It's a right option. Well, it has to go back, obviously, but you can see the edge where they're trying to attack. Back to the scrum penalty, and Ayrshire Bulls struggled at the scrum the first 2 or 3, but since then, they're beginning to pick up penalties. They're beginning to turn the screw a little bit. They're opting for scrums from penalties as the option as well, so they're definitely growing in confidence.
Grant Stewart, a couple of throwing errors from the line out. That will not have pleased him. The 27-year-old, 48 times for Glasgow Warriors. His Ayrshire Bulls debut tonight. Again, well taken. Pushing in there is Rory Jackson.
That's once.
That's one move.
Okay, 9 use.
Cullen been told to use it. Blair McPherson wears 8. Comes out through Rory Jackson. Cullen, a little ball inside. Beattie trying for the line. He's going to flick that up and it's going to go over. And Jamie Sheridan on the shoulder of his centre partner crashes over the line. And just as they did in the first half, it's the Bulls who get on the score sheet first in the second.
It's a brilliant finish. It's all about support play, firing through the gap it's created. Initially, Glasgow Warriors, well, the maul initially was excellent for Ayrshire Bulls. Glasgow Warriors stop it, and it's a really crucial piece of play from Rory Jackson. There, he manages to free the ball from the maul, and then Rhys Cullen runs, committing. I think it's Ewan Ferry. Bobby Beattie runs a perfect line there. Ewan Ferry can't move because he's committed to making the tackle, but Robert Beattie finds that space on the outside edge, fires through, and then his centre partner, Shedden, follows him through the gap, and powers over just to the left-hand side of the post. It's a really good finish and a real well-crafted try from the Ayrshire Bulls.
So Jamie Shedden with the score. Well, he did well in the championship. Got 3 tries, 1 against the Bears, 2 against Watsonians in 7 appearances. And the conversion is pretty routine for Richie Simpson, who's now 21 out of 21.
Yeah, did well to get the ball away, Rory Jackson, out of the maul, and it's perfect backline play. Rhys Cullen running, making the defender sit on their heels, and then the players outside that, Bobby Beattie and Shedden, both reacting to that and hitting really good hard lines at space.
So Duncan Ware sends it through. It's Jamie Shedden, the try scorer,
Use it.
on the ball. Cullen just does enough. Bardelli knocks that out of play.
Hang on. 9, don't get the back.
He's finding his side, you know, he's way into the side.
Play wasn't that.
Young Luca Bardelli just finding this level. It's a level up for him.
Guys,
He did well to get the end of that,
stop.
to try and keep the ball in again. That shorter box kick from Rhys Cullen, and it's alarming, although he couldn't control it. Glasgow Warriors didn't have anyone underneath it. It was him that was there.
So Ayrshire are going to make a couple of changes as the Warriors attack. Lovely little spin away that time, Ben Salmon. Back inside it comes Max Williamson, lovely dummy. Up to the 10, Weir on the inside. Murray McCallum, that's a lovely piece of play from Ben Salmon. Still trying to go, wasn't held initially, is held now. And he tried to continue and held on to the ball. Just got himself a little bit isolated on that occasion, Ben Salmon.
It's Ryan Sweeney again. He's spoken about the breakdown all evening, and he's so impressive in there. It was unfortunate for Ben Salmon because he's fighting to make extra yards, and he wasn't initially held in the tackle. And as he fights to get those extra yards, he gets away from his support play. So allowing Sweeney to get in over the top of the ball. It's a ball back inside. That's a really good ploy because it's just changing the point of attack. There's Salmon half held. As he gets up to make another metre or so, Sweeney wins the shoulder battle with his opposite number, Ferry, and wins a turnover.
So a couple of changes coming.
Got your mark there.
Rory Jackson and Blair Jordan's evening is done.
Let's go. Come on.
So 16 is Lewis McNamara. The headband there and the white boots.
Let's go.
Tim Brown also on. There's the throw. It's been disrupted and comes back straight into the hands of Kennedy. Bardelli chases back. Bardelli's going to try and go right down the middle. Simpson. Good counter rucking by Bobby Beattie. Calvin Henderson presents it on to Rhys Cullen. It's an awkward one for Townsend. It bounces away from him.
Yes, another good kick for Rhys Cullen, isn't it? I said before, I'll say it again, that kick from scrum half, it's already a third of the way in its journey before the 15. The fullback can really pick it up. It's already kicked, and Townsend does really well to get near the ball, but excellent from Rhys Cullen. I don't think Townsend touches it, so it actually bounces away from him and then into touch, so it will be the Glasgow Warriors throw-in, but good play from Rhys Cullen, scrum half.
Angus Fraser, it was Williamson that brought it down. Fraser trying to wrap himself round. Look how quickly that Bulls line forms. McNamara at the heart of the tackling.
Ball's there.
Ball is playable.
Leave him, 60.
Kennedy down the line. Lendenik, it's a brilliant take. Kennedy tries to hold him with a counter wrap, but it wasn't released properly. Kennedy runs through, went back 10. Now it's going to kick off just down below us. Grant Stewart is in there. In there, Ali Miller too. And then Angus Fraser just has a little smile at Liam McNamara. It splinters as well.
Time's off.
The happiest skirmishes you ever see now, isn't it? Everybody just smiles.
Captain.
It's actually Sean Kennedy took the quick tap and he was hit pretty well there as McNamara with the tackle and then driven it to touch, but I don't think they were back 10. We're going to have a listen to Rory Campbell, see what his chat is to the captains.
Had a good contest, let's not ruin it, stupid stuff off the ball. Crack on with the game. Don't want feelings anymore of that. Okay?
It was me who got
barred. Your penalty on here.
That is a brilliant line from Sean Kennedy. It was me that got battered, he said.
It was a good tackle from McNamara. It was an important one, wasn't it? But fair play to Sean Kennedy, wriggled free of it, and then he was eventually put in a touch, but Ayrshire Bulls weren't back 10.
Line, please.
He's not played an awful lot of rugby, Sean Kennedy, at the top level this year, 5 times off the bench, but still looks pretty sharp.
He does. And every time he has played, he's been really effective. He's such a tidy player, good kicker, good passer, good game sense, a really important player.
Ali Miller tried to take, but the throw was not straight. The option being offered to the Bulls. Scrummer line, it's the way they've been going, they have to take the scrum here.
Black scrum, outside, Come on. Black, let's go.
There's a real sense of belief forming. You can see it in these Ayrshire players.
There's just almost a game management element about it. Even here, they're taking a long time. Rory Campbell, the referee's telling them to hurry up. Quite rightly, I think we should speed up this part of the game, but Ayrshire Bulls aren't being forced at all. They're just taking their time. Rhys Cullen gets the ball in his hand. The scrum's outside the 22, so he can't kick straight out, so they'll be trying to either attack or create a space to kick from. But there's no rush. They know they're ahead, 17-5 ahead. They're managing the game well.
12-point advantage. Cullen, that's an awkward one. It came off the foot. Immediately was held up. Tackle was called. Cullen goes to ground to present. Tim Brown was up quickly to lend his bulk to proceedings.
Wait.
Oh, you can hear the voice of Gregor Brown organising Glasgow.
No.
There's the stretch to try and give Cullen the space, but he slipped, so he got her away. Mogadrar tries to gather. And penalty, he held on. He was tackled, he clearly made another move without attempting to release the ball.
Yeah. I think it's difficult for the ball carrier. I think if it's an obvious move, we're having a look, I might be wrong, but I felt as if there's still momentum in his roll. I think there's still momentum in the ball carrier there. I know it's exactly, I mean, it's difficult because you're asking, the referees are asking the defender to immediately roll away, get off the tackle, you know, release, a clear release before going back at the ball. So it's only fair that the ball carrier should do the same. But sometimes I think when the ball carrier has momentum, it can be a harsh call. That one's right on the borderline, but another couple of changes for Ayrshire Bulls.
Chris, as you know, I'm the world's worst rugby referee. I pinged someone for not releasing. We tried to say that they had somebody lying on top of them, but indicated there was no attempt to release, so I was unimpressed. But it just comes down to its referee interpretation. It's
absolutely right that you want the tackle to be as clear as possible, so the ball's as quick as possible. So there's a responsibility of the ball carrier to release and play as quickly. There's a responsibility of the defender and the tackle to roll away as quick as possible.
Straight through the hands of Lewis McNamara, so he knocked it on. And play continues. Lewis McNamara seems to be at the heart of these things. So too does Angus Fraser. Referee might have to step in here.
Okay, none of that.
It was
Bloodworth. It's a Glasgow penalty.
It was Bloodworth and Angus Fraser off the ball.
No need for that. 3 players running in, there's nothing there.
Well, the penalty given, I have to say, I think that's decent refereeing.
Yep.
Too many players rushing in.
Yeah, I think so. And he's just saying it's just bubbling over, isn't it? And they need a statement like that from the referee. And that's a good kick from Duncan Weir.
If you're Pat McCarthy, I think you're a little annoyed by this because you're in control here. Just bounces off the head. You can see little pass comes up. Fraser driving in. And this is exactly what you've talked about. This is where you don't need to be against Glasgow.
Oh.
Good take by Samuel.
That's once.
That's one move repelled, but Glasgow throw more players in. Fraser has the ball at the back. Kennedy is there with him. Kennedy
let's use it.
Trying to wrestle the ball away. Goes to ground.
Leave it, no hands.
Good defence from the Bulls. Danger not over. Glasgow trying to find a way through. They need on this scoreboard. Samuel crashes his way through. Kennedy, advantage for not moving away quickly enough. Duncan Weir just runs past the ball. Kennedy, there's a offload onto number 8, Gregor Brown. Brown was held. Kennedy flicks it to the side, trying to force their way over, and they have managed to get their way over. And Ben Salmon is the player who's gone over the line. Well, he's been getting crash ball, he's been working so hard, and that's good reward for Ben Salmon.
He did well to fight his way over the line, actually, and it came from some big collisions, big carries. That's it from Ewan Ferry, getting in the front football. Gregor Brown, who's been impressive with ball in hand. You can see the difference when you get goal forward, when you get quick ball and you're ahead of the game. But it was actually really good footwork and a great fight from Salmon to get through Shedden's tackle and dot it down. But because those 2 or 3 phases of momentum prior to that, it's much more difficult for the defence to get set. Quicker ball, more direct running, and a good score from Salmon.
So Duncan Weir, just a second kick at goal. Missed the first conversion, but wants to get this.
And all that came from that, I suppose, untidy line-out that led to a penalty, that led to being, back chat and then punished close to their own line. So you can see the net effect of poor discipline.
Duncan Weir. Look better all the way. It's a 5-point game. And just over a quarter of the match to play.
An important time to score as well for Glasgow Warriors A. Good kick from Duncan Weir. Very rarely misses 2 in a row. Missed his first one, but that was a perfect strike from wider out. The momentum swings back with the Warriors.
From the restart. Dealt with efficiently.
I think that's sensible. Good kick from Townsend. I think it's what they didn't do particularly well in the first half. They played in front of the Ayrshire Bulls, but maybe I could have wanted another 5 or 6 metres on the kick, but I think it's a good decision. from Townsend, and he put the pressure back on the Ayrshire Bulls, who have made a few changes, who their line out is, the last line out wasn't excellent, so they'll put pressure on there.
Throw is important here for Grant Stewart. Oh, he's overthrown again, just doesn't quite work, but it will work the way. And moving through is Richie Simpson. Simpson barreling his way towards the line, needs to present. And I thought he held on too long, and then there was players flying past him. That almost worked for the Bulls.
He's so sharp, isn't he? He's so sharp, Richie Simpson, onto the ball, the pick up and an acceleration. I think it's a brilliant tackle in the end. I'm not sure if Christian Townsend made the tackle or made the turnover, but you can see he's so quick, that ball. Again, that I think because of the changes up front for Ayrshire Bulls have disrupted their flow and their line out. Not specifically the throw, but just the mechanics of the line out. And watch this, as quick as a flash, onto the ball and he's away. And having a look at who makes the tackle, it's Logan Jarvie who makes the tackle. And then going off your feet, I think it was Chris Elliott perhaps coming in. There's a tackle from Jarvie. Christian Townsend getting over the top of the ball, but then
Chris Elliott, you know,
dives off his feet in at the side, and it's a relieving penalty for Glasgow.
Okay, Glasgow.
4 changes coming for Glasgow.
Hold on.
The injured player is attended to.
Okay.
Angus Fraser prepares the throw. There's Richie Simpson that's down, so Ewan Ferry has got off. Archie Smeaton has replaced him. I like the look of Ewan Ferry as a player. Tall, gangly player, plenty of power in him. And he's played 9 times for the Glasgow Warriors top side this season.
Yeah, and he's comfortable runner with the ball and contact and tight, but also out wide. He's impressive in the line. It was a good game. Murphy Walker's come off as well, who's been outstanding. He's been out for long-term injury, but he's been impressive this evening. Well, an invaluable 60 minutes in the legs there. Concern for Richie Simpson after that break. He just came up and he was limping a little bit. It's his knee that's getting a bit of treatment just in the top of the picture there.
Let's try scorer Ben Salmon. Smeaton.
Just Smeaton is on.
Yep.
He's an aggressive ball carrier as well. He'll look to make an impact. To see Richie Simpson taking his position.
Stay in line, please.
Still a very, very young backline for Glasgow. The experience of Kennedy and Weir. Then McKnight, Munn, Salmon, Jarvie, Townsend, all 20 and under.
Leave 2.
Fraser, the carrier, tries to get his way through, scragged down. Counter ruck came in, and that's an excellent play. It was Ryan Sweeney.
Really good decision from Sweeney. He just lets the tackle unfold, the clear out come in, and then just gets his hands on the ball. It's really clever. It's technically good, but it's a decision as to when to come in. There's a tackle on Fraser, and then the clear out happens really quickly, and the ball's exposed for a fraction of a second, and he's in and over it and wins the penalty.
Line, please.
Oh, Richie Simpson got that kick away beautifully.
We need to simplify things at the line a little bit, just to, after the last couple of throws for Ayrshire Bulls, I'll just look, maybe go to the front, someone solid, get Bloodworth up in the air, or something really simple. That's a good throw.
Yeah, Bloodworth up, takes it, gets it to the back. The ball rolling infield.
That's once.
Grant
18 out
Baird
now.
in there. Now it's scrum half. Baird fires it across for Chris Elliott. Elliott through Simpson. Simpson out. Caven's lightning quick. Tries to get the pass away.
Never on ball.
Salmon just thrown off that. Baird again. The flick on the inside. 18 is Craig Miller. Baird tries to flick it out wide. There's men out if they could get the pass. It was played behind Jamie Shedden.
That was the opportunity, Paul.
He was open.
That was opportunity. I think there was 2 men over on that right-hand side. Thomas Glendinning in your picture. He was one of them. He knows the pass has gone behind him, but it's good play from Ayrshire Bulls, pulling the defence in, and then Elliott's pass I'm not sure if it's in front or behind Shedden, but it hits the deck. Maybe see if I miss it. It's just too far in front, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's in front of Shedden, it's behind Glendinning, and that's a great opportunity missed.
But if he takes that, I mean, he's odds on to go in the corner.
Ready?
I mean, they did really well to narrow the Glasgow Warriors defence. And an excellent throw in the line-up from Stewart to Bloodworth, who caught right at the top of the jump towards the tail of the line that allowed the drive in field to create that short side to come back down against a couple of phases later. Good play from the Bulls, just untied at the end.
Fraser plays it in, Samuel with the take.
Sack is good, tackle only.
The sack
Off
is
back.
good. Glasgow retain possession. Well, it's going to be uncomfortable to try and get this away.
Use blue.
Kennedy goes himself. And that bounces alarmingly close to Chris Paterson.
Disappointed I didn't make an effort to catch that ball. Well, that just went through Pat MacArthur's
What's
laptop sitting behind us. Here we are. It just about went through Pat MacArthur's laptop sitting behind us. But,
Would have been
it was too late. It was too late.
Yeah.
I think if I'd made an early decision, I could maybe have got to.
Let's go.
Good kick from Sean Kennedy. Cut the line out numbers to a 4-man line out here, the Bulls. Try and simplify it.
Ryan Sweeney at 6 as the target, takes it well, brings it down to Grant Baird. Baird opens it up onto Richie Simpson. Smeaton on the tackle.
Tackle only.
Grant Baird again. There's the little offload through Simpson. There's the hands. There's such a good centre combination, Beattie and Shedden. Sweeney backed up by Bloodworth. Grant Baird pushed away there.
Ball's there.
Manages to get back again. Oh, it's good hands, and now there's the break. Grant Stewart is going. One man to beat. Grant Stewart tries to go under the post. He slides himself over. And the referee says yes. Excellent play from Grant Stewart, former Scotland international, on his Ayrshire Bulls debut. Scores between the posts and extends the lead of the home side.
What a line from Grant Stewart. He did really well to get there eventually, but what a line in the initial. Watch this, it's like a centre three-quarter. Perfect pass there. And it's delayed from Chris Elliott, but what a line, out to in, back inside the defender, then steps the final man. It does really well under Smeaton's attempted tackle to go over the line. Really difficult for Christian Townsend because his momentum's going left, and he gets there. It's a great decision from Rudy Campbell. That's perfect timing. This is like a centre or a fullback hitting the line, and then gets there with his momentum. An excellent score from Ayrshire Bulls, hitting back for the third try.
To the man who never misses, Richie Simpson extends the lead. Well, they've doubled up Glasgow, 24-12. Under 16 minutes to play.
Stop.
It's perfect from Grant Stewart because he has to bide his time. You see Thomas Glendinning being replaced. It's a debut for Kerry-O, who's another youngster who played really well in the Under-20s Championship for Scotland recently. Powerful centre. He'd have been proud of that score from Grant Stewart, who plays in the midfield.
It was terrific, wasn't it? Little jink. The other thing that impressed me, Chris, was the way he went down. He went down with the arm to help him slide, to get the other arm down for the score. Well, it's just starting to fray at the edges now for Glasgow.
Yeah, it's almost becoming a bit desperate, isn't it? Have to force it a little bit.
Got about 40, on 50.
That man's been impressive, Sweeney. He's everywhere, in every breakdown. Carries a lot. Won the last line out. Crucial player for Ayrshire Bulls, as is that man, Richard Simpson. Now he's hit better balls than that. He's
Not the best.
it was safe, we'll give him that. He's limping still with that knee, he got treated.
Just doesn't want to go off. He's enjoying this 14 minutes to play. There again, the line out a little bit too long. Fraser on to Smeaton. Ogadru is calling for it. Comes to the hands of Salmon and Munt.
Still in.
The ball is available. Kennedy pulls it back. On to Gregor Brown. Is there a way through for Glasgow Warriors A? Making their debut in this FOSROC Super Series Sprint competition. Christian Townsend. Kennedy gets it through the hands of Williamson. Trying to find a way through. Kennedy. Samuel. See Smeaton wearing 19, trying to add the ball forward. Advantage will go to Glasgow, and then the penalty comes out the side.
Yeah, Glasgow Warriors, the success they've had, I think, is in the second half has been on the shorter ball. The ball in the front, I think they're going out the back of the defender too often, and then allowing the Ayrshire Bulls, who are pushing up quite high in the defensive line, to almost hit the player who's getting the ball behind one of the front runners and putting him under pressure. That time Glasgow Warriors went much more direct. Salmon hitting a hard line, Samuel going well, just like the try, the lead up to the try that Ben Salmon scored. And it's a better tactic for Glasgow.
Alex Samuel comes off. He certainly doesn't want to come off, but he has to. He's been replaced by Harris McLeod, 19-year-old, 6'6", Scotland under-20. Now will partner Max Williamson. It's over the top, and that's picked up well by Tim Brown.
Still win.
Glasgow needed that.
Hold.
Let's get the feeling, Chris, they've got to score in the next 5 minutes or so to give themselves a realistic chance.
Yeah, that was a big line out. That was a big opportunity. Good kick from Duncan Weir. About 7 metres from the Ayrshire Bulls line. They got up and won it.
Townsend went backwards, according to some, but not according to the referee. A real little smile.
I didn't see any clear contact on my side. You happy with that one, Toddy? Is that like difficult?
Harsh from there, but
yeah.
Again, it's the angle the referee sees it at. He sees it once. And Gregor Townsend, little shake of the head.
Yeah, it wasn't. Quite often see, I think it was a forced clearance. I think it was maybe Richie Simpson. And sometimes when it's forced and the ball's not struck well, it's even more difficult to catch. It was floating left, right, and centre. And as a fullback or as a player under that situation, you have to keep your feet moving, you have to take short strides, you have to keep your elbows close, and it is really difficult to get under control that when the ball's not flying as straight as normal.
Grant does well. Elliott, the change. Cavan wanted the ball on the crash, but it's Beattie, and Beattie's got pace. He's got his fellow centre outside him. It's Shannon. Shannon racing for the line. This will clinch it for the Bulls. It's a brilliant try for Jimmy Shannon.
What an execution. What pace at the line from Bobby Beattie, and a brilliant finish from Shannon on the left-hand side. It's clinical. Absolutely clinical, cut through the backline defence of the Glasgow Warriors, and so well finished on the outside edge. I think Shedden's moved to the wing since Ewells came on. It was in pace, the injection of pace from Bobby Beattie, and the perfectly timed pass. Another look at it here, Richie Simpson's wide pass, initially to Kerr Ewell, who gets on the ball that second time, and there's the pace in the outside arc from Bobby Beattie, perfectly drawn in the defence, and Shedden is never going to be stopped. Gets round under the post, the fourth try for Ayrshire Bulls. I think that one's the pick of the bunch.
Well, he's 6'6". He's got the speed, he's got the skill, and he's got the determination. It's his second try, as Chris says. It's a fourth try, it's a bonus point try. And it's been pretty much a great evening for the Ayrshire Bulls. Now this will tell you that Richie Simpson's not comfortable, because Elias Cavan will take the conversion attempt. That was his moment to show from the boot.
Blue 9.
When it hits the post.
Oh, there's Shedden there, but it's a set piece play. That delayed pass there from Ewell is excellent. And Bobby Beattie gets on the outside. Good play from the replacements coming on. That's a good finish from Shedden. Look at his pace and his prowess. It's so difficult to tackle somebody in full flight. Bobby Beattie as well, one of the elder statesmen of the back line, showing he's still got the gas.
29-year-olds played well. 20th appearance.
2 players
Shedden taking it in, not releasing.
Get back.
Ben Afshar is on at scrum half for Warriors A.
Warriors have to strike immediately if they want to launch the comeback. They have to score here and do it quickly. It's the first part done. Duncan Beer to it right in the corner again.
Okay, ready.
Angus Fraser has been impressive this evening as well. I need to execute here.
Fraser, well taken.
Off the leg, 18.
Now the drive.
That's once.
Afshar calling for an infringement. It's still with Fraser. The ball is still there. 20 is Harris McLeod.
Use it.
There is a ball in there somewhere. Not used.
Right. No.
And the scrum down. Didn't get it out the maul.
It's excellent defence from Ayrshire Bulls. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Sweeney that's at the bottom of it. There's Matt Namara getting up. Budworth, who's going to be last up off the deck. Is that man with the ball? It is. It's Sweeney. He's just letting us know as well with a wee smile. It's a really good throw and catch. Initially, Ali Miller got up and won the catch in the line out, and it was a perfect setup, but somehow that desire, that drive, that niggle gets Sweeney through the maul and just disrupts the whole thing. He's looking for an extra set of lungs, but he deserves them. He's been outstanding.
He's also clever enough to walk away from his teammates, so he's the only person in shot.
Crouch.
Take the credit.
Enjoyed that.
Bind. Set. Steady.
Just about managing the game now for the Bulls. McPherson down by Miller.
Use. No dates. Out. Out.
Bloodworth carried it in.
Leave it.
Sweeney helped.
You said you're out.
There's Grant Baird. It's quite gloomy out there. It's not easy for Christian Townsend. Kept his eye on that. And Jamie Shedden with his hands on his leg. Muggerow tries the looping pass. Nicely played by Munn. Back inside onto Salmon. Logan Jarvie.
Scrum advantage only.
It's a scrum advantage to Glasgow Warriors A. Trying to drive through the middle, Ben Afshar, the scrum half.
Your knees on the ground.
But the knee was on the ground, so they'll pull it back. There's been no drop in the level of intensity from either of these sides.
No, and I mean, Ayrshire Bulls have scored 4 tries. They've got the bonus point. Looks like they're going to go and win this game. But it's their defence. It's stuck out more than anything else. And that intensity you mentioned, and the fact that it's not dropped off, it's the defence for me, because they're being tested around the edge there. Afshar almost got away. Duncan Weir was working hard. Ben Salmon's on the outside arc, but they've been so comfortable defensively, Ayrshire Bulls, and when they have been broken at times, the scramble's been outstanding. Richie Simpson's replaced. Another impressive game from the young number 10 who is maturing into a terrific player.
Just 19 years old, made his debut for the Bulls in the 2022 championship.
I mean, you don't want to put too much pressure on the young number 10, but he does make it look quite easy. It's not, I mean, he's just so comfortable in the ball and his decision making, and he's guiding a lot more senior players around, or a lot more experienced players around the pitch. It's another good showing.
Scotland under-20s standoff started 4 of the 5 in the Six Nations at that level.
Tackle.
It's now 21 Anthony Finch who's replaced him. Afshar. The only real experience that Glasgow have got in their back line now is Duncan Weir. And Weir tries to get things moving, just comes off the fingertips. And Duncan Munn.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed with that one. Good pass by Weir. Pushing Duncan Mann on, it's just probably too far ahead.
keep it up.
Well, the player of the match, and I don't think anybody will disagree, Ryan Sweeney. Chris, you've been talking about him all the time, very little you can add, but again, he knows to stand on his own, so full frame shot of himself.
He gets them that many. That's who I would have picked. I think Richie Simpson's been excellent, Blair McPherson's been excellent, Grant. Angus Fraser, sorry, for the Warriors in the hooker jersey. Before that, Murphy Walker, but yeah, Ryan Sweeney, I would agree with that. Just he's epitomised the hard spirit, the defensive effort of the Ayrshire Bulls, and he's been at the forefront of a lot of it.
Finch tries the angle ball, Morgan goes back, gathers. That's going to be infield, back to Finch.
Okay.
Finch opens it up onto Cavan. Cavan fires it across. Beattie loves a little wander, gets it outside onto Shedden. Well, he just couldn't hold on there. Archie Smeaton down by Blair McPherson. Duncan Weir still going about his business. Advantage over, it's pulled back by Angus Fraser. Glasgow come again through the hands of Townsend. There's no way through for Ali Miller. Miller lays it back, half sharp. Fraser gets it out of his hands quickly, but Weir has knocked it on. The ball's not coming back there, no advantage.
He's lying there as well.
Two players lying, one from each side, that's why no penalty was awarded.
New 13 sub.
Ben Salmon is going to be replaced. It looks like Callum Ferry.
15. 16. Time's off. Do 16.
Yeah, the game's getting a bit scrappy now, isn't it? It's a couple of handling errors. I think there's a level of fatigue set in. You know, Ayrshire Bulls haven't been playing, obviously. A lot of the Glasgow Warriors players as well haven't probably played a huge amount of minutes, so the intensity you mentioned hasn't dropped, but the quality's dropped a little bit in the last few minutes, just I think from the level of fatigue kicking in. But Ayrshire Bulls were delighted with this opening performance.
Ready. Time on.
The series
3 minutes.
really is a comprehensive victory. 4 tries, well managed. They've solved any difficulties they had in terms of early scrum, perhaps. 1 or 2 lineouts gone awry, but their defence has been excellent. Their I suppose the variation in the tries they scored have been excellent, and it's had to be because they've been up against pretty good international players.
Unbeaten in the last 6 FOSROC series matches. Last season in the sprint they won 3, lost 4, which is a bit of a drop from their championship form of that season. But here they're continuing to look impressive. Again in the midfield, trying for the setup, pulls the ball back. Lewis McNamara downed on that occasion. Grant Baird. There's the little hinge driving on is Tim Brown. Grant Baird again, Baird to Fitch. Out it goes, that's good running from Kerr-Ewell. It's not been on long, but he has been effective already.
Okay, even now.
There's Grant Baird.
Off feet.
Baird again, setting up. They're playing on his debut. He's part of the championship squad, but didn't get on.
To the middle.
Well, he's come through the middle. Ali Miller, there's nothing wrong with that. Trying to get his hands on the ball.
Use.
Elias Cavan. St Andrew Nimmo, you come across.
Just almost running down the clock. The Ayrshire Bulls under, they're so narrow. They're retaining possession well, but they're not looking to go too far. I wouldn't be surprised if they kick a goal here either.
Yeah, I was just going to say that to you. They lack ambition, but they don't lack intent. They know what they need to do.
Clever. It's clever. It's exactly what, if you're Pat McArthur, it's exactly what you would want to sit and watch. The bonus points in the bag. You're looking after possession. You've got your replacements on the field. They're making good decisions. Any forcing of the game has to come from the players in the blue jerseys. So it's everything. You can see Pat smiling away.
I'll tell you.
Have another jelly baby, Pat. There he goes.
he's a happy man.
There he is.
Let's go.
And his laptop never got
We will be
broken as well
restarting.
when the ball came his way.
Yeah, that will be last play.
If you're the coaches of the other teams in the Super Six, you'll be taking note of this. You'll be watching this back and you'll be looking at how Ayr have played, and they're going to be formidable in this tournament.
Yeah, the winners 2 years ago, weren't they? I'd say Watson's victors last year, but there was very little between the two of them.
Perfect, thank you, Andy.
And they look as if they're going to be title contenders again now.
Play Finch.
Play up.
It's the post. It's starting to catch. It's 2 in a row. One by Kevin, one by Fitch as they've tried to add to their 29 points.
Thank you.
They usually score over 20 at home. Well, the last twice they've been held under that, they've won both. Heriots and Boroughmuir. Great play again by the man of the match, Ryan Sweeney. Well, this can be either a kick at goal or just popped out of play. Time is up.
Yeah.
There's the tap. There's the kick out of play. And there it is, the end of the evening. And what an evening it has been for the Ayrshire Bulls, for Pat MacArthur. They have the bragging rights over Glasgow Warriors A. Terrific match. And Chris Paterson to pick up the bonus point as well was impressive.
It really was. Glasgow Warriors started in the opening moments with real vigour, real spark, but it's a really great performance from Ayrshire Bulls. 4 tries, bonus point victory, some excellent, outstanding defence, some good variation in terms of tries scored. The nuts and bolts of the game look good, the decision making looks good, the full-time score obviously Ayrshire Bulls 29, Glasgow Warriors A 12, and a home victory to kick off the series.
Wow, it's been a good evening for the Ayrshire Bulls. They worked hard for their tries. Rhys Cullen watched the ball across onto Shedden. Great interchange by Beattie and Shedden.
When you see that try again, it's so much quality. Jackson freeing the ball, and then the delayed line from Bobby Beattie run that space, and then the support through from Shedden on his shoulder. Really good interchange and play, really good understanding between the two centres. But it's also a willingness to attack space, not to run at the man or run at the defender. It's really good. It looks as if a try you see midway through the season when you're in your swing, when you're in your groove. Warriors hit back though.
Well, Glasgow did try to fight back. It was a lovely carry and turn by Gregor Brown. And then up in support, Ben Salmon, or 13, got himself driven across the line. Referee again in good position to see the score.
Yeah, found a bit of space all evening. Ben Salmon actually worked hard with ball in hand. That time he had to go through a couple of defenders, but then, well, Ayrshire Bulls hit back pretty quickly. Watch this for a line. Grant Stewart cutting inside the defence out to in, and then he had the swerve and the finish towards the post. That's really good. It's a hooker who's playing like a centre. He's done that before. He scored a try for Glasgow Warriors in the final at Celtic Park, against Pro 14 as it was then. He must have played in the midfield, the skills like that at some point in his career, I think. Grant Stewart played in the back row, certainly in the hooker, and then this is the pick of the bunch for me. Set piece play, the pass there, Bobby Beattie with the pace on the outside edge of Salmon, and then Shedden finishing wide on the outside. He'd moved to the wing by this point for his second try, but that wrapped up the bonus point. And well, as I said before, there's a variation of the tries that Ayrshire Bulls scored, and we've just seen that there. Some through the middle, some out wide. Good performance.
He was not going to be stopped. It was one of those tries where the winger knows when he receives it on the 22 that he's got the pace and the power to get in behind, and that sealed the scoring. Well, the Ayrshire Bulls winning by 29 points to 12 over Glasgow Warriors A. Stirling Wolves had themselves a second half. Boroughmuir Bears couldn't find any points in the second half. Stirling Wolves came from behind to win by 31 points to 15. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock in Edinburgh at Mireside, Watsonians Rugby kick off against Alan Tate's Southern Knights, and Heriots Rugby take on Edinburgh A. That's a match you can watch live on the BBC Sports Scotland website. Next week's live game, we'll all be at Mireside, Watsonians Rugby against Edinburgh Rugby A. That will be a cracker. Pat MacArthur absolutely thrilled. There's the handshake from Pete Horn. They were, of course, the partnership at Ayr who won the championship first of all. And, well, it's always good to get bragging rights over your teammate.
I was wondering what they would do, because I saw them before the game having a half glance. Obviously weren't allowed to have a smile, but yeah, I think there's a big smile on Bobby Beattie's face as well. Pat MacArthur will be delighted with that. It's a daunting task, especially with the team that Glasgow Warriors picked, but yeah, well, they'll be disappointed. They'll look ahead to next week. Ayrshire Bulls will be delighted.
Well, it's been a great evening at Millbrae, underneath the lights. 4 tries by Ayrshire Bulls, 2 by Glasgow Warriors, in a contest that everything you want going head to head. And the winners tonight were the Ayrshire Bulls. Bye for now.